Today on Tricrow Studios, I haven't played a non-US guitar in 6 months, technically. Let's grab a few, get a metal sound sample going, and talk about our feelings. This is therapy. It's not really therapy. Here's why I say technically. Okay, so a month ago, so technically it should be 5 months. So a month ago, I bought this, which is Japanese made. It's a Brian Setzer hot rod model from Gretsch. Refinished in a hot rod shop and has a multitude of upgrades on it. So I, like a lot of people, not all, a lot, will equate expensive guitars with US-made guitars. Will for some reason forget about Japanese-made guitars, which are some of the most expensive and highly sought-after guitars. So I always do that ever since I bought this, because it was like $3,000 or $4,000 for one of these. I equated it with US-made. So technically it was 5 months without playing a non-US-made guitar. Alright, so I don't want to talk too much, even though I have to talk to actually explain why I did it and how I feel. I first want to say I'm not trying to be elitist here. We're talking about like basically run-of-the-mill American guitars that I've been buying and playing. Some of the older stuff that I've bought, I mean, most of them are like $2,000. Some of them are like 3 and 4, but like we're not talking about like Murphy Lab or anything crazy. I don't have any $8,000 or $9,000 guitars, and it doesn't matter if you don't like that. If you don't like Gibson, that's cool. If you don't like Fender, that's cool. If you like something that doesn't have a headstock, that's cool. If you only play non-US made guitars, that's cool. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. Okay, so why did I do this? So basically, had a unique opportunity, and I thought about this when I was packing. So we bought a house. When I say we, I say myself, my wife, and my now 6-year-old daughter, who's getting a mini Strat for Christmas. I'll probably do some videos on that because it'll be fun. We bought our first house, although my daughter didn't really contribute. Anyway, we bought our first house. While I was packing for it, I was like, okay, this box here has got to go here, this has got to go here, because these I'm going to use right away. And this box here, I don't even know if I'm going to unpack it. And the moment I went like this, I was like, huh. You know, Ryan, you've been spending a lot of good money on US-made guitars. But one thing I was doing last summer and the summer before was I was buying more affordable guitars, like say like $300 to $600, and then spending $300 to $600 on those guitars to kind of upgrade them, make them mine, make them a little better and easier to play. And after a while, it kind of got annoying that I was doing it, and I kind of felt compelled to do it. Not for YouTube, but for myself, because I was like, yeah, you know what, I did that before, I'll keep doing it, whatever. Guitar players are stupid, but awesome. So I thought to myself, you know what, I have a unique opportunity. I can treat those guitars like this box. So let's not play them for 6 months. So I have a separate room where I have my cabinets and my mics, and I also have all of my non-US made guitars hanging on the wall or in a rack, and I have not played them until now. So let's talk about how I feel. So there's two main takeaways that I want to, or main things that I want to talk about that I noticed when I was playing them. And I am going to say that this is in comparison to the Gibsons, the Gretsch, and the Fender American Standards and whatever that I have. So it doesn't matter. Like if you like these guitars, I like them. I just don't prefer them. So it doesn't matter. If you like them, you like them. I can be an idiot. It doesn't matter. But for me, what I was feeling was specifically in the bridge, like the tension and stuff like that, and the neck. So with the bridge, and two of them you can't adjust tension to, right? Without raising the action or getting thicker string gauge. But the EX400 I did lower. So I do want to say I didn't just take them off the wall, tune them up, and go. So I took them off the wall, played them, adjusted things, made sure that the action was where it needed to be, that I was comfortable with it, it was good tension if I was able to adjust it, and I used fast fret on the strings. So what I was noticing was there was too much give when I was actually down picking or like digging in or anything like that. When I was playing on the higher register, I felt like the action was too high, but the action wasn't too high, it was good. So it's just, I don't know exactly why that feeling came through, but it's just how it felt. There was too much, or not enough tension, and there was too much give. The next thing that I noticed was on the neck. It did not feel, apart from the BC Rich. Now, what I'm going to say here, if you like satin finishes, this does not apply to you. You can ignore what I'm going to say. But apart from the BC Rich that I was playing, and all of the details for the guitar is going to be in the comments down below. But apart from that, because that was just a bolt-on neck with no finish on it, all I could feel was the poly. It felt like there was an inch of poly on the neck. Like I've been playing mainly nitro finishes, a little bit of poly on the Strat necks. The satin poly that's on the 75th anniversary commemorative Strat, fantastic. But with the nitro finish and the satin finishes and such, you can feel the wood. You know what I mean? It feels like you're playing a wooden neck. And on these, it literally felt like the whole neck was poly. It felt, if this makes sense, it felt colder and wasn't as resonant, I guess you would say. It's very distracting. So there's definitely US-made guitars that will feel like that because they don't use nitro finish, or even worse when you get a guitar that has too much nitro finish on it and it gets gucky. But those are the two main things that I felt were very distracting. They weren't as pleasant to play. Now I'm getting older too, so my tastes are changing. Most guitar players go through this cycle. They like whatever they can get their hands on. Then they buy a more expensive guitar. So then they're like, I'm all about the expensive guitars. Look at me, I've got the expensive guitar. I was that dude. And then you stick with one brand. And then in my case, that was Gibson. And then I went to Paul Reed Smith, got into the 10 tops and the artist packages. And then I was like, you know what? I can't be just a jerk who only plays these guitars. Because I started to feel that way. Like someone would be like, and I think this actually happened. Someone was like, man, I just bought this guitar. It's my third guitar. And it was like an Epiphone or something like that. And I think my nose turned. And I was like, an Epiphone? And I could feel myself getting more and more idiotic. And I think I stopped at that point. And I came to more of a realization of it doesn't matter what you spent as long as you like what you're playing and it inspires you. So started getting more budget-friendly guitars to kind of force myself into that. Then I started upgrading them, spending a lot more money. And then I was like, you know what? I should treat myself to some more expensive guitars. And then I got right back into Gibson, and that actually followed into getting a little more into Fender American. So typical cycle. Now at this point, I've got an excess of guitars that I don't want to keep in a room for 6 months without playing. So I will get into some of the amp videos where I do the metal, and maybe I'll sprinkle in a few budget-friendly guitars, but you'll probably see those are probably going to be a little more on the Gibson end, just for myself. And I will be getting back into the high-gain amp shootouts, probably this week or next, hopefully. My schedule is going to lighten up a little bit. I'll still be working every day, but it won't be 70 to 90 hours a week. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to end up either selling or trading off those guitars or even trading in towards more expensive guitars. I have 54 guitars right now. That's way too much. And it's way too much to have ones that I don't really have a desire to play. So that's really all I got to say. I'll do the same video for 7 strings. And then I'll probably do a couple of videos with my daughter's 3/4 guitar, because I've got to set that up, and I know I have to adjust the neck and the action on it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you made it this long in the video, and if it's been out for like a year or two, check the comments. They're probably hilarious. I hate Gibson. I only use guitars that don't have headstocks and were made in Indonesia. I got mine off of eBay, and it's better than Gibson. Fenders for old fuddy-duddies. I can be an old fuddy-duddy. Just a guy who wants to play something that makes him want to play more. Has nothing to do with price. Thanks for watching.